On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, this comes out. For real. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and today I'm here with Josh. He already rolled up underneath the car there. And yesterday, of course, you saw we got all the accessories out. We ripped out everything that was kind of in the way around the engine here. Today, we do the big part. We grabbed some ratchet straps because we needed a way, something we could snake around the engine to lift with. So we're gonna wrap it up with some ratchet straps, hook it on the engine hoist, and just get to work pulling this thing. So all that's left, 2 bolts in the front that hook up to the front cross member, maybe 8 bolts on the transmission. Let's do it. Oh yeah, that thing's super heavy. As you guys can see, there's like a tin shield here that goes kind of around the trans pan just a little bit. I guess it was probably a heat shield to keep the exhaust heat away from the trans is what it looked like.
If I'm not mistaken, it looks aluminum.
Aluminum?
Looks like it was removed once before.
Yeah, and then somebody was like, I'll remove it with some side cutters or something there.
But it's got a cutout for the exhaust.
Yeah.
Like, this is just cool.
Very nice.
A through hole here on this cross member.
Oh, for the battery cable.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the battery cable and the fuel go through there. Crazy.
God, so much torque.
So much torque, the chassis twisted coming off the line. I don't remember the rest of the quote. No, that's it. That's all of it.
Yeah. They say the screams I heard were my own.
Yeah. We think all the bolts are out. So far, it's kind of tough to tell which one's are adapter and which ones are trans on this thing because there's about a plate that's about that big that adapts this engine to the Rolls Royce custom Bellhausen TH400. So we think it's out. We just pulled the front 2 bolts off that motor mount. Let's see what happens.
We can't really go wrong here, right?
Right, yeah. If we
error.
There's a chance though that we could. You're gonna have to come up a lot to play the motor mount. Oh, it looks like it's coming out. Sweet. Just got off the phone with the old insurance company. That's what we took a break here, and it turns out I saved 15% on my car insurance. Not with Geico, it was actually the Rampage just sold. So I'll show you a 13-second clip of it driving away for the last time. And it sold to another Rampage owner. That's he's taking it straight to a body shop and having them finish up all the work. He's like, I've got a $10,000 budget and I'm just gonna let them do it. And I was like, well, I guess that'll get it done.
That's exactly what it needed.
Exactly what it needed. And I wasn't gonna bury 10 grand in that car.
Yeah. See that one again.
Yeah, it'd be
local, right?
Yes, he's local. Awesome. He's gonna, all the Shelby stuff will be on it finally. The Rampage is gone. So, good stuff. And we just spent basically a forever up underneath here. We had to unbolt the adapter plate. There were how many bolts? 4 on top, 4 on bottom?
6 on top.
6 on top.
6 on bottom, I think.
Oh. So the adapter plate in here is finally loose. The adapter plate also attaches the transmission to the subframe, and that's why we were running into problems. So should be free. Let's do it again. We did it wrong, but this is the biggest pile of trash ever built by people on the planet.
The most rewarding trash.
Unbelievable.
Remove.
Yes. Look at this garbage that just took, I'd say like we had the time lapse running and the battery died on the GoPro. So almost an hour, over an hour of prying to get the converter and everything apart. Wow. Yeah. So we probably pulled out 20 more bolts of just random junk trying to get to this point. And it's finally gonna lift.
The big issue was we couldn't lift the engine high enough to clear the teeth on the flywheel. So we unbolted the teeth from the flywheel.
Yep.
Which are not captured nuts. So we had to wedge a
pry
wrench
bar
in behind.
Yep, or a pry bar, one of the two.
Disaster.
And we had to like lift with the pry bar, get the impact in, and oh, it was insane. So just take a look at that trash. There's a spacer, the adapter plate, that it's not even necessary because it's a custom bell housing. They could have just made the bell housing longer. They didn't need any of this. And then they built this, you know, super weak metal plate that's holding all the power there and put a ring on it so the starter can engage it. So that ring only lets the starter engage this sheet of metal that turns everything. This is what nightmares are made of. But the nightmare's over.
Yeah.
It's coming out right now. Can you say anything else about how terrible it is?
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty well spent.
Okay. This lift better be done at this point. Oh, and then all of a sudden this line is new and goes from the intake to something random that we don't know what it is.
I got a vacuum modulator to the tranny, maybe?
No, you know that's what it is too. Josh goes, yeah, we can just use this wrench. I was about to grab the Sawzall. I'm just done.
I think we might have to go Sawzall.
Is it not?
This is the Custer's last stand here.
Oh, it's going.
The top and bottom are both turning is the problem.
It looks like it didn't take long on video, but it took...
It's at least 3 hours.
About 3 hours, yeah, to do the easiest part of the whole thing. So what we thought was the easiest part of the whole job is now complete. Hours and hours later. Here we have one Rolls Royce LS410 / Bentley engine on the floor. And now we can get the trans out too, huh? Hey!
Adapter ring.
Wow, that cool piece of engineering that was the worst thing we've ever had to deal with.
No kidding. 11 bolts to hold this thing on.
Because we can't have it magically falling apart at some point.
And they're 3 different sizes.
3 different sizes for sure.
And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And like 4 more from the bottom, 14 to hold the trans to the adapter.
We thought we were just gonna unbolt the torque converter, and all of this was wrong. It is nothing like working on anything GM's ever made. The internet just keeps saying that it's a standard TH400. It's nothing like a TH400. It has a completely round bell housing that was custom made for Rolls-Royce. It's only the guts that are Rolls-Royce, and the pump is different and has more oil passages to cool things more. And so basically it's just the clutches and the steels that are GM. Like nothing else is actually GM. So we're not gonna use it, of course. We're gonna 4L80 this or something now. We've decided that this cannot be used. We're definitely supposed to drop the K-member to do this stuff. That's neither here nor there because the K-member drop is a massive undertaking and we'd have to like get the springs out and
you need a lift for that.
You gotta have a lift.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Oh, it turns out we never needed to unbolt the front motor mount because it had already ripped its rubber isolator in half.
I noticed that.
Yeah, it just shredded the isolators. All the old rubber it just all went immediately. Ah, I see. You're just gonna manhandle this in here? Josh is like, put an LS1 in it.
I'm dropping it in.
Can you actually manhandle this in?
It's going in. I'm taking it with me.
I like how you just set it on the steering rack that's not bolted in.
Look how much room.
Look how much room there is with an LS1. Yeah, this LS1 was only 150 bucks. That said, if you're interested in a Rolls Royce / Bentley L410, this one's for sale for $3,000 probably. Because I just found out the carburetors by themselves are worth like $500. The engine, the long block is usually $2,000 something. But if I don't get an offer that's cool, we will definitely strip this thing and sell the carbs and sell the valve covers because everybody wants those as art. And you know, rinse that block out and make it a coffee table because this would be the coolest coffee table.
Absolutely. I did a quick look at like just the crankshaft, just a good usable crankshaft, $675 plus 90 shipping.
Happily sell a crank.
$800 crankshaft.
Yeah, that may finance some of this, which is ideal.
Yeah.
I rolled back under the car and I have the remote shifter thing because it uses like either electrics or vacuum to run a shifting mechanism that shifts the transmission, so you don't have to put any work in, right? You can just nicely shift it into gear and then magic happens behind the scenes. And honestly, that magic is really, really fast because we were driving this like a hoopty, you know, both feet in, just trying to keep it running, and it would shift into drive pretty quick. But it was also like sometimes it wouldn't shift into drive, sometimes it would stay in neutral and stuff like that. So I've got that unbolted and it's hanging down there. I've got 2 bolts out of the drive shaft. Now I have to get the transcooler lines.
You guys can see this giant thing right there. That mechanism ran a linkage that shifted this transmission, which is pretty interesting. It used to mount right up here. So you can see that. It does actually have an electronic speedo. There's the cinder coming out of the tail shaft there. And then this giant box right here has all of the braking stuff inside it. So we're gonna pull that down and come up with a plan for our brakes. We're probably gonna do like a underfloor brake master because obviously all this stuff was built for the high pressure system and it has to be eliminated. So if we can keep all the braking down here, it keeps the engine bay even cleaner, which is you know, a huge boon for us, just making life easy and making everything pretty.
Tonight, we're calling it. It's been a very long night. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shopwatchjargo.com. Pick up some of the merch. Still don't have a Rolls Royce shirt. I need to get on that, but it'll be coming soon. And it's just awesome to see this. It's awesome that now I can stand in the engine bay.
I hope this was definitely the worst part of it.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah, it was not fun. But it's done. So thank you guys once again for watching Project Roll Smoke. It will roll smoke one of these days here. There's just a lot more to get out before we start throwing new stuff in. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I'll talk to you next time. We've been in here for a while right now testing out electronics, trying to make things work again. We had to you know, put the power circuit back together that runs up down the frame to the starter, and then hook that back up so we could do some more testing in the car. All the lights are working now. The high beam switch is working now. It wasn't working before. Radar detector, still haven't figured it out. That's like, it's the one thing that I want is the radar detector. So I'm having trouble getting that gear selection actuator off, and I found the service manual. The internet delivers. It's on rrtechnical.info. They have PDFs where somebody has scanned in all of the old service manuals, and they're amazing. I just have to read a little bit of this to you guys here. So to drain the sump and renew the intake strainer. We're talking about the transmission, of course. As you guys know, GM transmission, pull all the pan bolts and you know, pull the back ones first, dump the fluid out, catch it in a pan, pull the rest of the bolts, and then swap the filter and all that good stuff, right? Like the easiest job in the world. Draw the transmission dipstick from inside the engine compartment and slacken the set screws securing the filler tube to the cylinder head. Slacken the nuts securing the dipstick filler tube to the right hand side of the transmission sump. Withdraw and move to one side the filler tube and drain the fluid into a container. Discard the O-ring from the filler tube connection. And it just goes on, like remove the set screws. It's a pretty funny manual to read.